Peter, who wants to talk about something about a ban on transgender education in Florida. Peter, you're live.
Hello, how are you?
So good.
We're good. How are you?
I'm good. Actually, I want to speak with Shannon. Hello, Shannon.
Oh, hi. What's everybody targeting me for? Everybody go after. What the heck? I'm not even the host of this show. Go ahead. What's up?
So, Ms. Shannon, I was wondering, how do you feel about Texas trying to ban trans education?
They're not just trying to ban trans education. They're actively attempting to investigate the parents of transgender youth for abuse and removing their healthcare opportunities. And they're labeling just existing as trans and parents being supportive, educated, and looking for affirming care as child abuse. So it's not just about education. It's about people's real day-to-day lives. So how I feel about it is they can fuck off and Greg Abbott can go to hell.
Okay, well, so you feel that way because I'm in favor of it.
You're in favor of people. You're in favor of people.
Hey. Explain. Please explain.
I don't.
Okay.
I'll mute.
First of all, I don't believe in transgenders, and B.
What do you mean by that?
Not be involved.
What do you mean?
Before I answer, well, look, you're either one gender or the other. You can't pretend
No.
the other gender. It's a mental illness. It is.
No. No, it's not. No, it's not. No.
Yes, it is. Now, let me finish.
No, it's not based on where in the DSM. No. Qualify what you're saying. Based on where in the DSM. What qualifies it as a mental illness? What qualifies it as a mental illness? What qualifies it as a mental illness? You can't just say shit. What qualifies it as a mental illness? Give me the diagnostic criteria and the pathology. Go.
You are a woman, and all your body parts.
Okay. How do you know? How do you know? I'm a woman. Why?
Right.
Based on what?
Peter,
Yes.
So what we used to think of was this thing called gender dysphoria. I don't know if that's still in the DSM, but there's a notion that has existed for years that people can feel that their gender is not consistent with their anatomy or their outward appearance. Do you agree that exists, that there is such a thing as a dysphoria, people feeling like what they feel they are inside is not compatible with what they are on the outside?
I believe people can feel that way, but I don't believe that just because people.
Okay, stop. Okay, so you believe that people feel that way. Now, from a medical perspective, that's a problem, right? Because people are feeling bad, and it's our job as a society, and more tightly from my perspective as a healthcare provider, to try to fix that. So what's the best solution? The best solution, based on the science, and student Dr. Ben, who was on the clip show last week, said this very well. The best thing that we know how to do to help these people manage their gender dysphoria is to support their transition. You know, even if you wanted to call it a mental illness, it doesn't matter, because it's all about treatment and distress. So if you want to say that, like, whatever you want to label it, the appropriate thing to do is to support people in their transition. Like, period. Otherwise, you're not doing them any favors. And frankly, all this you don't believe in the existence of someone being transgender is just labels again. So if you say that you agree that people can have gender dysphoria, which is causing them distress, then they should be entitled, should they not, to seek care in the same way that someone having a heart attack is entitled to seek care for their heart attack, right?
You cannot compare a heart attack with mental illness. One is legal.
Why? Oh, hang on. Is mental illness? Let's put this gender thing aside for a second. Is mental illness somehow different from illness otherwise?
Mental illness. Look, gender is not gender.
No.
Gender is not.
Answer my question. Is depression different from Crohn's disease? Fundamentally, as a disease process.
I don't see what it has to do with it.
What it has to do with it is mental illness is illness, okay? There is no difference between mental illness and illness, okay? anyone who has an illness, be it mental or otherwise, has the right to seek care for it and should be offered the appropriate care for it. And when it comes to someone who's experiencing what we understand as being gender dysphoria, they have the right to seek the appropriate care, which we know from all of our scientific studies is a support through a transition, which includes things like hormone therapy and surgery, gender affirming surgery. So where's the problem?
You cannot compare a heart attack with gender dysphoria. It's in your
Why?
head.
Listening.
Okay, well,
what's the difference?
If someone thinks that they're a dog, does that mean if someone feels strongly that they're a dog, does that mean we should let them behave like dogs? If a child thinks they're a bird,
if we have science to back up that is the best way to approach their specific problem, then yes. If you want to be humanitarian about things.
So you're telling me it's okay to let a child act like a bird and then jump off the roof, try to fly, and jump.
We have evidence that it's the best thing for that person, then yes.
Then they should pay for it themselves, though. They should not have. The taxpayer should not pay for it.
I see that you're calling from Canada. How would you feel if I said, well, you smoked, and so I'm not going to pay for your lung cancer surgery because you smoked? You would feel pretty bad about that, wouldn't you? Because everyone comes to the table with a different hand, right? A different hand of cards, and we all have to play. And we decided to live in a society. All three of us on this call right now live in a country where we as a society have decided, you know what? We're going to look out for each other a little more than our neighbors to the south and make sure that nobody has to suffer alone to the extent that we can. And so we try our best to help each other out. So I don't know why you're drawing this line here. It seems totally arbitrary.
So let me get this straight. You're okay that if your son wanted to have came out to you as trans, you would totally be okay with that. And
If my son came out to me as trans, I would say, what would you like me to call you now? Did you pick out a name yet?
I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand, Peter, what I do for a living. I undergo training in doing gender affirming surgery. That's part of my job. I would do that actively.
Yeah, you picked the wrong ponies to call today because I'm an asshole. And
I mean,
Randy wears much more calm than me, but I studied the psychology of it, and he studied both the psychology and the physiology of it. And you're coming at us with arguments like, well, what if a kid wants to be a bird and jumps off the roof? That's even analogous. You're deflecting. You're just if you want to parade your bigotry around somewhere, this isn't it. This ain't it. If you want to have an honest conversation because you have questions, then sure. I think MD did a much better job of having a conversation with you than I probably would have, because you can't even prove that I'm a woman. You have no idea. You're just making a social judgment based on a confluence of lessons that you learned psychologically existing in a society that someone with my outward appearance and general demeanor is more than likely, based on a statistical average, probably going to be a woman, and more than likely I'm going to be a cis woman. And you're using that to make that assessment. You don't have access to the things that you think you're using to make that determination. The things that you think are important to make that determination, like gametes or genitalia, those are not what you are using to make that determination. You are using the very things that the trans people use to make that determination for themselves. The only difference is you think that it's okay for you to do it off the cuff every day, all day, when you're trying to determine whether or not somebody external to you is a woman, when you yourself determine whether or not you are a man or a woman, and you've landed on man. Good for you. Congratulations. But you don't get to tell other people that. That's not up to you. You don't even realize that you're not capable of doing it yourself. Prove I'm a woman. Go right ahead.
Well, I think we lost Peter, so he's gone.
Bye.
It's not the biggest tragedy that's ever happened.